Hi guys, hello, I'm Bovan. Welcome to my tutorial where I'm going to remove, fix and explain the parts of the CPU. So guys, what you see here is a normal simple setup of a computer. This is the monitor, the desktop. This is the keyboard and this is the mouse. And here we go with the CPU, the brain of your computer. This is what we will be removing and fixing again. This is the back of your CPU. I'm going to explain the wires. This is a pass-through connector. It is used to plug into the monitor so that you can switch it on and off using the power switch of the CPU. In recent PCs, the power switch is in front of the case. What you can see here is the back panel connector. In this connector, you have a lot of ports. Each of these ports are for different purposes. The two that you can see on top, the purple one is for the keyboard and the green one is for the mouse. This one that you can see, this port is called a VGA port, a video graphics array port. And the cable that you have connected in here is actually used for any kind of display. Mainly it's connected to the monitor. As you can see, you have the exact same cable in the monitor too. This also can be connected into projectors. This is the LAN port of the CPU. It is used to plug in network cables. Here are 4 USB ports. USB means Universal Serial Bus. My keyboard and mouse are two things that are connected through USBs. That's why I have plugged them into the USB ports. Here underneath we can see 3 ports, one red, one green and one blue. The red one is used as a mic in for any type of microphone. And the green one is for speakers and the blue one is for any outer audio devices like radios maybe. Now we're going to remove our CPU. Are you ready? Let's start with the wire. Make sure you have different containers that you can put your screws inside. It will be a very helpful thing when you fix your computer again. This is a USB in cable. These are SATA cables. This wire is the power switch wire. This is the reset switch wire. These two wires are the power LED plus and the power LED minus wires, and this is the HDD LED wire. This is the main power cable. the motherboard of the CPU. The biggest part of the motherboard is the socket type fan. Under this socket type fan, you get the processor of the computer. What you see here are the DIMM slots. On that is the RAM. This is the AGP slot. These are SATA ports. This is a third panel. This is the south bridge. This is the heatsink. Under the heatsink, you get the north bridge. This is the CMOS battery. These are USB headers. This is the aux-in header. Can you pause it? These are PCI Express slots. This is a 12 watt ATX power connector. This is the main power connector. Now we are going to remove the RAM out of the DIMM slot. The type of my RAM is DDR3. You can find the type of your RAM in the corner in a label. SD RAMs are of three types: DDR, DDR2, DDR3. A clearing speaker is a very important part of your motherboard. This can tell you whether there is anything wrong in your CPU with its beep patterns.
Motherboard. A motherboard provides the electrical connections by which the other components of the system communicate. Let's start with an AGP slot. AGP meaning Accelerated Graphics Port. It is a high-speed point-to-point channel for attaching a video card to a computer's motherboard, primarily to assist in the acceleration of 3D computer graphics. Socket 478 connector, a type of CPU socket used for Intel Pentium 4 and the Celeron series CPUs. 478 is the number of holes in the socket for CPU pins. Motherboards that use socket 478 can support DDR, RDRAM and some SD. Back panel connectors. The back panel is the portion of the motherboard that allows you to connect external devices such as your monitor, speakers, keyboard and mouse. South Bridge chipset. South Bridge chipset is an Intel chipset that manages the basic forms of input or output, such as Universal Serial Bus, USB, serial, audio, integrated drive electronics IDE, and industry standard architecture ISA in a computer. USB headers. The USB header is a pin connection found on a computer motherboard that allows additional USB connections to be added to the computer. PCI slots. PCI slots are general purpose slots that take a wide variety of cards such as network cards and sound cards. We can also find PCI Express slots which do the exact same function of PCI slots. North Bridge. The North Bridge or host bridge was one of the two chips in the core logic chipset on a PC motherboard, used to manage data communications between a CPU and a motherboard. We find this under the heatsink. ATX power connector is a power supply in your computer. A universal power cord plugs into the power supply, connecting your computer to the wall. Processor. This is the brain of your computer. It processes everything from basic instructions to complex functions. The major types of processors available in the current market for PCs are AMD, Duron, Athlon, Thunderbird, Athlon XP and Intel processors. The types of Intel processors are Pentium 1, 2, 3, 4, dual core, core to duo. Intel processors are available in the following types of connectors: PGA socket type, slot type, LGA socket type, and socket type connector. Random access memory or RAM is a form of computer data storage. A random access device allows stored data to be accessed directly in any random order. There are 5 types of RAM: DRAM, dynamic RAM, SRAM, static RAM, SDRAM, synchronous DRAM, SIMM, single inline memory module, DIMM, dual inline memory module. DRAM, dynamic RAM, is built with capacitors that lose their charge after a few milliseconds. The memory requires constant refreshing to recharge the capacitors. Dynamic RAMs tend to be physically smaller than static RAMs, but it holds a larger amount of data. SRAM or static RAM. Once a value is written, it is guaranteed to remain in the memory as long as power is applied. It is generally expensive and used inside processors. SDRAM, synchronous DRAM. It replaced DRAM. It is an improvement because it synchronizes data transferred between the CPU and memory. It allows the CPU to process data while another process is being queued. SDRAMs are of 3 types: DDR, DDR2, DDR3. SIMM. SIM is a memory module with 72 or 30 pins. SIMs are considered legacy components and can be found in older machines. SIMs with 72 pins can support 32-bit transfer rates. DIMM is a memory module with 168 pins. DIMMs are commonly used today and support 64-bit transfer. Hard disk. A hard disk is a magnetic disk on which we can store computer data. A single hard disk usually consists of several platters. Each platter requires 2 read or write heads, one for each side. All read or write heads are attached to a single axis arm so that they cannot move independently. Each platter has the same number of tracks, and a track location that cuts across a platter is called a cylinder.
watching my video.